I wish you guys the best with your Yum Yum podcast.
Yum, yum. Hi, Ryan.
Hello, Rachel.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. You sound like you've just crawled out of bed. So, how are we both doing? Well, time, Rachel, to wake up. It's yum o'clock. This is the most important day of the week. No, stop it. It's wakey, eggs and yum time, because we are the two hosts of Yum Podcast. And what are we here to do on this very podcast, Rachel? No, it's not catch some shut-eye. No, it's wakey time. Wake up.
We are here to talk about an episode of science fiction television, which is the main thing we do on this podcast. Our podcast.
Yes.
The Yum Podcast. And we're a husband and wife team working our way through Killjoys. We now have a title of sorts that we can claim.
Mm-hmm.
We've submitted the paperwork.
Oh.
So it's pending. It's pending, but
Okay.
we're fairly confident we're going to get it.
Oh.
Which is that we'll soon be certified as what?
I'm waiting for what it is. We're certified as what?
You helped me do the paperwork.
Oh, I did the paper. I made Rachel file it. Yes, we're waiting for the king to approve it, of course. Because we are Australians, we are part of the Commonwealth. We do need the king's approval for these type of things.
Mm-hmm. This is making me think that you don't know what I'm talking about.
I know that I'm here to talk about Killjoys, so I'm curious how this will relate. What did we sign?
We are the people who have done the most
episodes on Killjoys. Yes, no one else has done this much.
But specifically the certification is about the video recordings of our reactions.
Oh, did they give us the paperwork? YouTube itself came down and said,
we're waiting on it.
They said,
I said that already.
The king and YouTube itself have declared that we have done the most reactions to Killjoys. No one else has gotten that far. And it's true, but not only do we do those reactions you can find on YouTube or in full on Patreon, but we also have this very podcast where we are here to discuss this 5th and final season of the series, a series that I have seen before, but only when it initially aired. And Rachel, you have not seen before. This is your first time experience with Killjoys.
That it is. And it's been a fun time, and I think it's going to be interesting to be able to look back and see my reactions to some things if I choose to. I've not done that.
She hasn't filled that paperwork in yet. She's still looking at that one, waiting for the approval from YouTube and the king. Not the king of YouTube. Mr. Beast doesn't need to sign these pieces of paper. But you have something very important to tell us, Rachel. Something very important to tell us. And that is, why are we called Yum Podcast?
Because you wanted to start a podcast with me.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong?
I said mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's an affirmative mm-hmm.
Your face is not matching the sounds.
Well, we're not a video podcast, so they can't tell that, can they?
No, but I can, and I'm in the room now.
Oh, okay.
And I'm stating it for the listeners, just the same way that I am declaring that I'm giving Ryan a thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
No, just the one.
Double thumbs.
No, just the one.
She's giving me a thumb.
Don't lie to the younglings. Don't lie to the younglings. Don't besmirch the good name of Miss Yum Yum.
Miss. Not even married. Rachel's up for grabs. You heard her.
No, I'm not Miss Yum Yum. I'm talking about Commander 9D, who is the original source of the Yum Yum essence, because that character, that actress, was tasked with delivering the line of Yum Yum, not related to food or deliciousness in any way, but to murder.
It's true. It is to murder. She was asked,
Perhaps even
could you kill the main
could call it an
antagonist?
assassination.
Well, she was asked to make him scream. You know, murder is implied later, but definitely torture. And she licked her lips, threw her hair back, and said, "Yum yum." And what a performance that was. And I'm sure that we won't be talking about that actress specifically in today's discussion of Killjoys, which is Season 5, Episode 4, Ship Outta Luck. And I have a summary here for us, which is Team Awesome Force has been thrown into prison and must find a way to get out. Meanwhile, Zeph, Turin, and Pre must stop the rain. That moment from Star Trek Discovery was very silly. It was meant to be funny, but it also isn't funny, but it is so unfunny and so out of place that it actually becomes funny again. And Killjoys is not above that type of thing either. And yet, there's many things to find humorous in this series. And so we like to look at the yum yum laugh of each given episode. And what was the thing that made you guffaw with Ship Outta Luck?
It is when Johnny has found Davin in the psych ward, and he is working on or has just succeeded in getting Davin to be shocked with the halo.
To electroshock his brother, yes.
Yeah. And he gives a thumbs up to Davin as he's being electrocuted.
Oh, yeah. I have a thinking joke that I really like that is beyond this episode. There is a moment in which Zeph states that the process of waking up from the hypnosis has made her lose her sense of taste for cheese. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you thought that was weird. You're like, oh, okay, that's strange. What the hell's going on? But this is an interesting little wrinkle and callback, because when Johnny was woken up from the hypnosis, he stated that there's a strange taste in his mouth of cheese.
Oh.
And I love that. And it's given me such a funny thing of, did he take her taste of cheese? What's going on? But there is a little thing between these episodes of cheese gags when it comes to waking up from the hypnosis, at least with these two characters.
I'm too shocked with that because it's a protein inhibitor. So it potentially having an impact on their taste buds, sort of, it makes sense in a way.
It's the type of thing that you can tell was for the writers. They're like, this is one for us. And if people pick up on that, that's great. Now, I like to make sure to keep track of how many uses of the word bitch was in a given episode, because when we first started watching this, as you can see in those glorious reactions that are certified as the best Killjoys reactions on YouTube and Patreon, you can see in those reactions.
Have that yet. We haven't finished that.
We finished the paperwork. We're just waiting for the King of England to approve.
We're waiting.
What are we waiting for?
We're waiting for the certification that we've been doing it the longest. And
we've done
the most.
Which means we're the best. By just percentage-wise, we're the best. So I don't know why you're going through pedantics here. I mean, maybe you're the one certifying the paperwork, and now you're drawing up the rules here. But how many bitches do you think were said?
3.
Interesting. Now you're awfully close. It's 2, and
I remember 2 distinctly, and then I was like, I'm gonna assume that there's at least one that I forgot.
No. You have been overshooting with this season in the episodes, always by 1. Now, do you feel satisfied with the amount of bitches we're getting in season 5?
No, I could do with more bitches.
I could do with more. We got a lot of shit in this episode. Lots of usage of the word shit. Now, we're in a prison. There's lots of fighting. There's lots of violence here. And did anyone get kicked in the genitals?
No. Let's move on.
How many episodes has it been now?
I don't want to talk about it. Okay?
It's been 5. It's been 5 now since we've had it. It was the penultimate episode of last season. We got a good kick, and it was from behind. But you want to move on, so how about you tell us who the writer of this episode is?
Julie Puckrin is back, creator of SkyMed herself.
The brand new series, SkyMed, starts Monday, 8th of May on Universal.
I want to note something that I find funny, and I don't know if it's a wide problem or not. But I went, like, I Googled her name to remind myself of, like, what has she done? What's her involvement in Killjoys?
Mm-hmm. She's a producer as well.
Mm-hmm. So I go to the wiki that comes up, the first one, which is a fandom wiki.
Ah, yes. Dangerous area to play in. The fandom wiki.
Yeah, I was like, I'm fairly confident that this is her last episode that
Correct.
she's writing.
She's only done 3.
So I was like, you know what? I'd like
roll the dice.
I was like, there shouldn't be anything that is like spoilery about her involvement. And then I was just really confused.
Oh.
Because so it has, it has her photo, her little like headshot, and
Oh, nice.
her position.
Oh, cool.
And then a little overview that says Julie Puckrin is a writer and producer on season 3 and 4 of Killjoys.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Biography. Adam Barkin is known for her work on Motive 2014 to 2016, Livin' Loud 2010, Ruthie's Door, and The Debt.
Oh, it says Adam Barkin instead of Julie.
Yeah.
Adam,
And I
did you put that there on the fandom wiki? I know you're showrunner now, but that doesn't mean you're in charge of everyone else's fandom wiki pages. I don't like your tyranny.
Is he just trying to get everything?
Yeah, he's trying to get his name out there. That wily old Adam Barkin. He's at it again. Unless Julie's trying to mask herself. She's like, look, I have consistently written the worst episodes of the show, and I'm trying to hide the fact. And look, I don't want to be bashing on this writer too much, but the previous 2 episodes she has done have been the poor episodes of their given season.
Heist, baby.
And Babyface Killer.
Mm-hmm.
Either boring episodes or, to say it lightly, tonally bizarre episodes. And I am happy.
It also does, that fandom credits her with those 2 episodes, not with this one.
But she did this one.
I know.
Okay.
I know. It's just another weird error in that fandom.
I bet you they credit Adam Barkin with writing this episode by the trajectory of that fandom wiki.
Let me double check.
I mean, the fandom wiki doesn't even have Turin's full name there, and I'm just saying that can be fixed. It is stated in the show in 1 episode, so fans, get on it. But I have to say that even though I've been very critical, as have you, about Julie's previous scripts and her episodes, this was a very good outing for her. I think this is much more focused than her previous works, and I think the direction by Paulo Barsman, again, he's the one that's going to be directing the most episodes this season, or at least a good portion of them, matched what the script was needing. I think it really complemented everything. We're in a bunch of new locations in this episode, and I really got the sense of geography of this prison, of where we were going, of where Johnny is going with the laundry at each given scene. And that's super important to note down, because sometimes that can get lost in all of the razzmatazz. And overall, I liked Ship Outta Luck. It wasn't my favorite of the ones we've watched so far. There are some issues here, but I'm a sucker for a prison setting story. I like a lot of the tropes and cliches that come out of these. I like having the hard-ass warden who's a little bit crooked themselves. I like having the top dog of the prison who we have to beat up and make friends with. I like having a crazy prisoner that we have to worry about, and so on and so on and so on. And this just ticked a lot of the boxes for me in that way. But how did you feel about this?
I really enjoyed this episode overall. It's not to the same caliber as the last couple have been, but it is trying to do a different thing. It is setting up a new status quo.
Let's just dive straight into one of the things that holds this episode back, which is Zeph just being in this episode at all. The last time we saw her...
She just gets thrown in.
The last time we saw her, she got her memory erased by the rain. She carved in the numbers in her forearm.
Like the symbol that leads to her lair.
Yeah, but she kept on walking, not understanding what that was. And we just cut to her. She just found her base. She just found it, and then she wakes herself up. There's no story there. And I'm not saying I wanted a big story of Zeph finding the place and waking herself up, but it's incredibly cheap, dishonest, and hollow storytelling when you look at it from an episode-to-episode basis. Because when we ended it last with her, it was on a notion given to the audience that this would be trouble, that this would be something that would have to be overcome. There is nothing changed with Zeph having lost her memory at the end of the last time we saw her and her regaining it here. If you didn't make her lose it in the rain, and you just had it be that she couldn't save the gang, and she was just in her lair at the beginning of this episode, there would be no difference. But at the end of the episode she was in last, you had to give us a dramatic sting so that it felt like there was something big and important going to happen there, but there was no actual desire to do so. So it is just a cheap trick, and it immediately put me offside with this side of the story. It immediately turned me off. I was just so frustrated. And then what she does and what she proceeds to do with the people she wakes up is fine, but it's not engaging. It's not interesting per se. It's necessary.
Yeah, it feels like, and now is when we get to have this happen.
Again, here we are. Zeph is the bearer of exposition, technobabble, and moving the narrative machinery
and
forward.
There's all of these limitations within the plot as well, because it's her. She cannot activate everybody because that's too risky, and they follow the straight line towards where the Black Root ships are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so down the path.
It's not littered with interesting character moments or arcs in any way. Like,
it just does it.
It just does the thing. Like, she wakes up Turin. Turin's like, Jesus Christ, what the hell? I don't like this. We wake up Pri, and Pri's like, Jesus Christ, what the hell? I don't like this. We should wake up Garrett. No, we can't wake up Garrett. We've got to be pragmatic. And it's like, oh, okay. That's the most interesting wrinkle in this entire thing is, oh, we can't wake up Garrett. And Pri has feelings about that. But it's very much in the background, even of this story. We are told this thing. Then we see the characters act on said thing. Oh,
what is the conflict?
The conflict here is that they... Yeah, exactly. Like, they don't have anything really to struggle with. It's just, oh, now we know more.
Yeah. It's... There's no internal or external forces at play, really. It's just... We're going up against the thing. We figured out the thing. We've dealt with the thing.
One of the most charged and compelling moments, again, is just an offhanded line that explains something that hasn't been answered yet, which is what is the rest of the quad doing while this is happening? And the answer is they are aware because by the amount of terraforming that's taking place on Westerly is visible. And it means that they are just watching and not helping. That they are just standing on the sidelines, just letting this happen because they are that apathetic or that fearful. And I thought that was a very compelling little line. I thought that was an interesting piece of world building, but again, it feels like a means to an end because there isn't really anything deeper there. That doesn't really make Garrett, like that doesn't really make Pre or Zeph or Turin have a moment of pause. It makes them just go, yeah, of course, and we move on. And so we have to find out.
We have no reason to believe that this universe would give a shit about Westerly.
No, exactly.
It's not a shock. It's not a surprise. It's just that it's confirmation. It's the show going, that's not an option.
Westerly is already in an advanced stage of terraforming. Everyone in the quad would be able to see it from space by now.
They just don't give a shit.
So we are the help.
Meanwhile, Killjoys team are in a prison that they think is underground. They think it's on Westerly. And we have another story telling us, hey, there's a secret base over here. Perhaps this is where our friends are. And no, it's a distraction for the audience. It's a thing to make us not understand something about one plot and then reveal in the other. So then, it feels like
it's another cheap trick.
And admittedly, I see the purpose of this cheap trick, which is to give a sense of overlap between the two stories. Because if you don't, it very much feels like two things in isolation to one another, which we already have with the lady and Klein and their conversations, which are just things in a vacuum to one another, where, yes, it does inform the plot in the prison, but really they're just a series of scenes where those two are talking. That's fine, because that's how those two characters work, and that's fine for that. But with the Zeph plot, you really want it to feel like we're heading towards something more important. And really it's just, we found out how they make it rain, and we've blown it up.
Which I was like, wait, why has Zeph not realized this immediately? Like, she's got the knowledge of, like, everything. So why has she not put two and two together? Like, it feels like even Turin could have figured that out on his own.
I differ with you on that. I think that's an understandable progression of knowledge because she's had to keep track of so much stuff. She's had to discover so many things about how the lady makes these things work. And, Pre is the one that makes it known where this location is because of his Killjoys background in his fake life. So he is the one that provides a piece of information that they did not have. And then she makes this discovery.
But, like, that part I get. But once, she seems so surprised that the lady is using the ships to put something in the clouds. I was just like, well, yeah, of course she is.
Oh, okay. I didn't take it so much as a surprise of that. I thought it was more the thing of, why would these ships be flying around over Westerly again and again? Oh, it's filled with things. Oh, it's poisoning the sky. That's where the rain is. Like, it's that type of thing. But here's something I'm noticing. We're talking about the most boring thing possible, which is logistics, which is A, B, C, D, E, F, G type storytelling, because there isn't really anything here. Like, when I say aloud, this episode, Zeph figures out how the lady is poisoning the sky and making it rain hypnosis, and they stop that. Doesn't that sound like an interesting, compelling, thrilling story?
But they don't even fully stop it. It's just like, it's enough of a reduction that it's a danger to the lady. It's not fully stopping. It's like reduced it by 30% or something like that.
And again, because we only have so much time and we only want to really check this off, we have to make it that the Blackroot ships are easy to get to, they're easy to take down, there's no real defense from the lady of those, there's no real struggle that they
That
have.
I buy, because she is too cocky, and she believes that she's got this all under her control. So why waste resources?
And I don't disagree, but I think it just is another thing that stacks on top of this and makes it crumble, because there isn't enough material to sink my teeth into and really get something of sustenance. So instead, I'm thinking of something like that. And you're thinking of how we make our Eureka discovery moment and just thinking about these in the cold, hard logistical facts and saying, this isn't very thought-provoking or entertaining.
But it is fun to watch. Still, for me, like, it is. I had fun in the episode. It's looking back that I'm like, oh, that was clunkier. Thinking about how that flows into that and how this fits into the grand scheme of things. That's where I'm not jiving with it.
The saddest thing is, all three of these characters are fun. Like, we like Zeph, we liked her, and we of course we love Pri, but they're not given anything in this episode to distract from what they are doing, which is just being devices of a script.
Yep. It's just that weird thing of it feels too performative.
And then you have this in stark contrast to the lady and Klein. They are just two people in a room having conversations.
It's all about them as characters.
And their ideologies and digging into the kind of grander themes that come about in a science fiction context.
The part that really got me when it comes to it is when they're having that direct conversation about, like, why do humans keep fighting and what gives humanity hope, and how it's not, like, it's the cost of having emotional memory.
Yes, because the lady
And
is so
bringing those
confident about what it is.
to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've known for quite some time that this is what is propelling the lady forward.
Yes, that
She wants to bring back her species, and she wants them to have the advantage of emotional memory, because my current understanding is that the lack of that is what she partially blames for their extinction.
mhm.
So if they have that emotional memory, they are going to be able to survive and dominate.
Yeah, because they will have an ability to process their previous actions and
Best of both
behaviors
worlds.
and gain an emotional intelligence that will guide them with their future actions. Because although they are a sentient, advanced race of people, they still look and act on animalistic, destructive instinct. And she believes that having gained all of this information about memory and using the idea that memory is the defining trait to intelligent, sentient life, that of humans, we must wield this as another weapon in our arsenal, that I must integrate this into my own species so that way we can become, as she says, perfect. And then you contrast her with Klein, who understands these things, but he is emotionally devoid. He's cold. He's elegant. He's got a demeanor that does not give the idea that he actually is driven by these things, but he clearly is. It's underneath the surface. Like, Rob Stewart plays it so well, but I think there's something so interesting about having these emotionally driven contrasts between these two performances, and yet they're arguing on the inverses of what they're performing.
Yeah. Yeah, that articulates something really well that I've noticed but haven't been able to articulate. It's fun. It is really fun to see them sparring with each other. But another part of this episode that doesn't work a whole lot for me is that stuff doesn't feel tethered to anything else.
Oh, okay.
Like, it feels like those scenes could be moved into a previous episode or into a future episode, and it wouldn't necessarily make that much of a difference. Like, if she discovered that the ships had been destroyed in the next episode, that would still make sense. That would still flow. That conversation would still be important and make sense. And some of the earlier ones, if they'd happened in the last episode, also would have fit in fine.
Do you know what separates my kind from yours?
I'd say the urge to annihilate everything else, but sadly, I know my own species.
Emotional memories. You relive past experiences, keeping them alive, meaningful. When you remember where you have been, you dream of where you might go. Your obsession with the future, your ambition, is because you can't forget your past.
We've got 3 stories here. It's too many. Really, to me, what this episode is best at is Team Awesome Force being thrown in prison and seeing how each one of them handles that. That is good enough. And believe it or not,
there's
it's
enough to do with that alone.
And you see it in this episode. It's expansive enough. It's tantalizing enough. There's a new world to explore that makes sense with the series we've been watching. And so you could have a whole episode, and as this is demonstrating, more than one episode of these characters stuck in a supermax prison. And how do they survive in there? How do they operate in there? How do they use their set of skills inside of that place? And how does that tie to the overarching series and the general premise of the show? I've said that I like these prison storylines. How do you feel about them overall in shows and movies and narratives?
It varies for me. It depends on the show. It depends on the prison. It depends on the ideas that the show is exploring by doing this. I mentioned in our reaction that I was a bit afraid that it would lean more Red Dwarfish, because that has a prison plot line in one of...
Yeah, it's later series.
Yeah. Is it still later with how many there are now?
Later of the original run.
Yeah.
And it's not a good story.
It's not a good story, but we need to put these characters in a new situation. So this is what we're doing now. And I don't like it when it's that. It gives the same kind of stink as give them a younger sibling.
Oh, Buffy, watch out. Does this not dip into that, though?
I don't mind all. Anyway, it does dip into that a little bit, and it is also like we're buffering because they can't face the lady yet.
Mm-hmm.
It does work for me, and I am trying to figure out why it does. One, it is an interesting position to put these characters in, because like the worst place for a cop is inside of a prison as a prisoner.
Especially with people they've put in there.
Yes. And that is the situation that they find themselves in. And they not only find themselves in there, they are now choosing to stay in that position.
Mm-hmm. So
it is an interesting place to put them in as underdogs, because it's a unique challenge, but we are confident in our characters that they have the skills to survive that. But are those skills going to be enough to get to where they need to go.
Yeah.
And what will that path look like? I don't know.
Yeah. Any other aspects of this that manages to make it engaging, entertaining, go over those hurdles of how this can be done poorly or just a clear status quo shift?
It's a minor thing, but when it's off, it can really ruin things like this, which is that the set design and presentation of the ship and the establishing of the geography of this ship is clear, it's well-rounded, and it does not feel like they've just reused one of their industrial sets.
No, I understand that as well, and I think it just is a lot of great visual storytelling.
It's got its own personality to it.
The way that the warden is dressed, for instance, is just great at giving the audience on a subliminal level the idea of how this location is structured.
Like a little bit echoey of the Nine.
Yeah, like she's dressed as a dominatrix yet businesswoman. Like she's got this interesting combination, and then the way that the actress is portraying it as well adds to this idea that this is a tough place, but it's also a corrupt place. One of the things that really makes this work for me is this is just a logical progression for the series to go. Our characters have been the police. They've been the bounty hunters. They've been the people who have had to go and run after criminals, bag and tag them.
They know how to do that. They know how to run after something.
And in the just general ether of law enforcement, one of the end places is prison. Like, hey, we've seen our characters get the job and learn the crime and find witnesses and find the location and then find the criminal and then arrest them and get money, but we've never seen beyond that in this series. We've never really gone to, now let's go to the jails.
Yeah,
let's go to the court systems. Let's go on and on and on.
In the last couple of seasons, because I in particular have talked a lot about how the show has expanded out.
Mm-hmm. We've gone to more war talk.
And now it's pulling back in.
And one of the things that makes a logical progression for the story is, let's go to a prison, let's throw our characters into there, and let's see them sweat. Let's also not forget that our prisons, even the Supermax ones or the local ones, are they an actual enforcement of justice? Is there any forms of rehabilitation, or is this just another system of oppression and cruelty and corruption that exists in the world? Not just their world, but our actual world as well. And this episode nails that. This episode really gets into the minutiae of that, of how prisoners within the system are figuring out ways to benefit themselves, and the system allows it, rewards it, appreciates it.
In any kind of prison, you're gonna have contraband. You're gonna have a hierarchy.
And even the psych ward, there's a game to play there. And they know that there's a game to play with that, of how to rig the system in your favor. And it just kind of feeds into the, this is supposed to be, in theory, in quotations, for our RAC agents as well, the end point of crime. You've been punished, now you've been thrown in jail, and you'll learn your lesson. And what does learning your lesson look like? And we see all the varying ways of what that looks like, and it doesn't actually benefit anyone. In fact, all we see is it makes everyone crueler.
And that's the main thing that I feel about, like, the parts of this plot as well, of Dutch escaping solitary confinement. It is cool to see her under pressure and successful and using her assassin abilities. It is great to see Johnny as the underdog using his tech skills,
And he's a
trying
thief.
to prove somebody wrong about what he is and what he is capable of. And then it's fun to see Dav just be miserable.
But he also makes a connection. He makes a connection,
Which is
and
what we've continually seen him do all the way back to the girls who were being
vessels.
used as the surrogates.
yeah, it's been something
It-
very,
it's
very
always,
well established.
It's always there. He's not the heart, but he's often like the bridge. Like Johnny is the heart of Team Awesome Force, but Davin is also the one that more easily makes connections with people beyond the circle of trust.
He's the empath in a weird way. He
Yeah.
really does. Especially since being a father, we've seen that grow more and more.
Yeah.
Warned you, food's way better in the psych ward.
Hey, Calvert. How'd you get out?
Oh, you made a new friend?
One very charming.
They go through this episode thinking that it is an underground prison. Did you ever believe that?
No.
We talked about in our last discussion that we thought it was a ship to begin with.
Yeah. It felt like they were trying to make a thing, and I never was like, yeah, that's a thing. Because it makes so much more sense to me that like the Supermax prison being in space.
Yeah.
If it's on a planet, there's somewhere that they can go outside.
Is it weird that RAC agents don't know where Supermax prison is to begin with?
Yeah. Does that mean that not all of them are on ships?
Maybe they only know their local prisons because it seems like they didn't have a major understanding of what happens past that.
No, like their understanding of the J was less.
Yeah, it's just the quad, and even then, it's like their local establishments within the quad that they care about. Like, hey, we know what Westerly's all about.
We know
what
what's
Old Town's all
at
about.
the market with Baelish.
Yeah, we know about Leith's Bazaar, right? These are the type of things. But yeah, also, what's the name of the episode? Ship Out of Luck.
Out of Luck.
It's in the title. So we, the viewer, always kind of aware. Okay, say you didn't watch this episode knowing the title. Like, they don't put the title on screen.
No,
you
they
just
don't.
have to look it up.
But then there was that was a similar tip-off with 3 Killjoys and a lady.
Mm-hmm. But that one was more clever. Like, oh, okay, like there's multiple meanings to that one. That's a little bit more fun. Well, this one, it's like it kind of gives the game away a little. Like, it's a big reveal. I would have been fine if we knew the whole time and the characters didn't. But then, what will the Zeph plot serve other than a distraction? Like, see, it starts to kind of fall apart.
Yes, it feels required, and thus it feels like a burden.
Something that we discussed in our reaction is the appreciation that each one of the characters in the prison were multifaceted, that they weren't just the one single thing, that the warden wasn't just the uptight warden who's by the books, that there is something more to her, that Sparlow, the head of the gang...
The sniveling guy was pretty much just the sniveling guy.
Which sniveling guy?
The one who's like, you should give me to taste it, boss.
Oh yeah, but he's like a minor character. But yeah, but these big hitters like Sparlow, the
the
guy
ones
that
who
they're
are
gonna
clearly
say.
gonna come back.
Yeah,
they're shaded in.
Yeah, they're shaded in, and they managed to shade them in within this episode in relatively short amount of time. The woman that Davin meets in the asylum, like, she's got so many different little personality quirks, and then you realize that's all an act. Like, that was fun. Like, they managed to get all of these things in, and it managed to add up. Like, I didn't feel like, they're kind of just rushing through here, or they're pulling this out of their ass. Like, I feel like a lot of those, even Corin, the man that started this show in the first place, the very first job we saw with Dutch and Johnny, he is returning here. He's back, and he's insane now. But even him within this episode, we get multifaceted faceted portrayals of his kooky insanity and this vitriolic anger, and that he was already working an angle before they got here, and now that they're here, he's using them to help bolster his own desire for power. Like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, because it feels like he called for that hit before he got sent to solitary.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe did it so that he kind of has an alibi for it.
But now here are these Killjoys, and it's like, oh, they're a perfect distraction for me to do all of the stuff I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate them. They're the people who put me in here in
Yes.
the long run. Like, oh, this is so... See, this stuff, oh, this is so good.
There's lots of juicy stuff here.
Like, did you think that he would return? That guy?
No! No, I was like, surely they're going to have somebody, but I'd kind of forgotten about him.
Yeah, they even reference the fact, like, hey...
Because
didn't
it already went back to him once.
Yeah, didn't that prison explode? It's like, oh, I was already taken out of there, so it was fine. Like, they give that throwaway line, and it was good, it was a serviceable line.
It was a
explained
justification,
it
and
was a
that's
justification.
that was what was needed.
What do you feel about just that idea of the very first problem that they had to overcome has returned as one of the final ones?
Killjoys has maintained a level of intentionality and returning to things. And sometimes the dividends on those things are fucking great. And some of them, it's nice. And sometimes it is like somehow both.
I think it's also just, again, cementing further that this setting isn't just incidental. That this man who was a very minor element of the series is back, but he's meaner, more vile, and more dangerous than ever because of the very system that Team Awesome Force has been enforcing the entire time. Perpetuating and necessitating. And in part, still fighting for. And we haven't said it aloud, but the Warden, it's someone very important to us. I knew that she was in this series because when I was watching the show, we were also watching Star Trek Discovery. That's right. Rachel, please tell everyone who plays the Warden.
The same actress that played Commander 9D.
The person who said
Rachel something.
Ancioni. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I've seen it written down more than pronounced. But she is the woman that said yum yum. The woman that helped inspire this podcast to be. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be here today talking the way we are.
No.
And I gotta hear from you, Rachel. Tell us all how you felt when you realized that's the same actress.
Oh, I felt dumb that I didn't immediately clock it because I was like kind of talked myself out of it because I was like, that face feels familiar.
And here's a hard question. Can you take her seriously?
No. No, I can't.
Is this going to be a struggle? Because her character is a serious character, as we're being portrayed in this episode, at least. Like, she's an authority figure that we have to worry about.
Yep. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I really don't know.
I don't know if Rachel, the actress, is listening to this, but I'm sorry. But the Yum Yum curse has been put upon you. It's hard to not see that. I agree, because when I was watching Killjoys when it initially aired, I was like, holy fuck, it's the Yum Yum lady. And in this episode, they have her dressed up all sexy, and she's like given an extra level of like, you know, authoritarianism in her performance, but also like kind of fun. And I was like, oh boy, I'm having to wrestle with the fact that this is Yum Yum. But here's something. Within one episode, she's had more to do and more characterization than she ever did in the multiple seasons of Star Trek she was in.
Yeah.
This is a better performance. This is a better character. And we've had minimal time with her so far, but we'll have to wait and see what she gets up to. One other element that was of note in this episode is Johnny made a friend. He literally made a friend.
Lucy. He gets Lucy's voice back. And it is talking to her and developing her AI.
He grabbed the chip from the previous episode, put it in his mouth when going into the prison, and then he's pulled it out and he's put it in one of their little communicator pad things. And she's a blank slate. She doesn't go by Lucy. She's going by like her generic code.
Calling him Sean, which we are under the impression that that's a nod to Aaron's brother.
The famous Sean Ashmore, Iceman himself. But Rachel, you believe that, right? You believe it's a call out to Sean? It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
They also must get confused for one another. I mean, they're identical.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Now, here's some funny IMDb trivia for you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So there's two trivia. They're both the same but different. So Newsy, which is New Lucy, calls Johnny Sean after mishearing his name.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says, this could be a reference to the fact that Aaron Ashmore is the identical twin brother of Sean Ashmore.
Yeah.
But here's the other one. After mishearing his name, Sean is an Irish variation of John. That's what it says on IMDb as well. And that one only has one person found that interesting. The other one had 8, because the other one is correct. You're lying. The writers would be lying as well if they said, oh yeah, the Sean thing is because are the Irish existing in this show?
I am base program serial number.
No, override that shit. Your name is New Lucy. Lucy.
Acknowledged, rights holder.
Oh, yeah, call me John.
Acknowledged. Sean.
Yeah, okay, well, we can work on that.
It's just a sign of all of the things that Johnny has lost and the fact that he is not coping and he is trying to ignore, and as usual, he's trying to use tech to patch his emotional distress.
Because he is going through emotional distress in this episode. Boy, is he going through it.
I don't want to fucking talk about it.
But we got him. It's the final thing on our notes to talk about, and I put it final because I thought, let's just leave it to the end to talk about. And yeah, Johnny is going through some unrequited love bullshit because he has some feelings or some unprocessed thing with Dutch.
Yeah, and Davin can see it, and Davin tries to talk to Dutch about it, and then they have a super annoying and cliched miscommunication.
I thought it was pretty funny, though. Because she thinks it's about the death of Lucy. He thinks it's about the fact that Johnny is in love.
And it's just like, oh, we're breaking up, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, can I engage you with this? Can I spitball this for a second? Because we are very negative on the Johnny has romantic inclinations for Dutch because they've had a much more interesting relationship before, and we've avoided this type of thing the whole series. Can I at least engage with what I think they're trying to do here, which is, in a science fiction show like this, characters will live a false life, false memories.
Yes.
And then when they're woken up, that's supposed to end now. Like, oh, they've woken up.
They're not in that world anymore, so there are no further consequences of that. There's no dissonance to be had there, which is not realistic at all.
Yeah.
It makes sense for there to be consequences, and it makes sense that the consequences are with Johnny, because Johnny is the emotional one. He is the heart.
And he's a widower.
He's the romantic one.
Mm-hmm.
And Davin's life, he, under the spell, hadn't changed that much. He didn't have a son anymore.
He didn't lose anything by being woken up.
But he was still looking for Jack. which is what he's doing now outside, like now that he's not under the spell of the lady anymore.
Yeah, like Zeph and Johnny are the ones that lose things by waking up. Because Johnny loses love, loses stability, loses a life that he might want. Zeph loses the falsehood that she isn't sad, that Pip isn't dead, that Pip existed in the first place. So it's interesting that those two characters are ones that suffer from being woken up, but they have different forms of resilience. Like Zeph has a different form of resilience when it comes to Pip, like she's already been processing it. But with Johnny, yeah, this is the conceit, right? Because say in Star Trek, you have the famous episode The Inner Light, where Picard lives an entire life and then on he goes. And there are episodes and moments where they touch on that life and they have the flute, but they're only once in a blue moon. This series is saying, what happens if this is the ongoing storyline for Johnny of he can't just, like Dutch, shake off the fact that that happened? Because Dutch has someone that she can go back to. She has Davin.
She has something to help pull her forward.
And Dutch is a master of repression.
Yes, abso-fucking-lutely.
And you know who isn't?
Johnny.
So I come back around and say, is this not a truthful way of going about this?
I see why. That part I understand. It is more about the fact that I enjoyed them being platonic. I enjoyed them being on the same page about that. And it feels reductive to pull them into that kind of bullshittery.
And when you say...
even though it is logical.
When you say them, you should actually just say Johnny. Because Dutch isn't really a part of this.
No, but her conversation with Davin does kind of potentially like pull her into it. She's on the outskirts of it.
Yes.
It is about Johnny and his feelings, not about Dutch.
I agree. I think the problem is intellectually I can appreciate what they're going for here, and in terms of actually doing a thing that lots of times gets ignored in the genre especially, I can commend. However, emotionally and gut-wise speaking, I hate this, and something that even trumps that is I hate how elongated this is being played, because we do have scenes dedicated to the Johnny wants to say a thing but then doesn't say a thing. The withholding communication is so boring to me. I would rather they have confrontation, conversation, something that's engaging, because here's the thing. We are drawing this out of the show as something to talk about because we are doing a podcast where we're reviewing it, but are you, when you're watching it, are you actually having any intellectual thought about this, any emotional engagement with this?
My emotional engagement is fuck off.
Exactly. And a part of it is because you're ruining the one of the big selling features of your show. This is one of the most unique things of your show. People out there go, oh, I don't like Killjoys in the back half because I just liked it when it was bounty hunters on odd jobs. No. I mean, that's fine. But one of the things is the character dynamics. And one of the best things about the show was Johnny and Dutch's platonic relationship. And now we've tainted it. And that's the problem. You've tainted it. Even though I can acknowledge on this writing level, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
When I'm watching it, as are you can't help but roll your eyes and go, oh, come on.
I see why. I just don't like it. Is it time for ratings now?
Yeah, what do we give this?
I had fun with this episode. But I feel like I cannot say on the whole that it was good. And that's the system. Yum equals bad, yum equals good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
No halves.
I give it a yum.
I am going to give it a yum yum.
Yum yum.
Here's my major reason for it. In the previous episode, I was tentative about giving a yum yum because of the one bad element, which was the Johnny's unrequited love, which is still here. But I thought it was more annoying in the last episode. But I'm giving this a tentative yum yum here because of the prison storyline element being so good for me. Something I like so much. It's a personal preference that it overshadows a lot of the other problems I have going on. I can recognize that there are problems here. And that's the thing. The whole podcast, these ratings, this is all subjective, right? And I'm just saying here, this tickled my fancy. I loved all of this stuff. Even the elements that kind of don't work within this prison storyline, I love it even despite all of those things. So it's a yum yum from me. Now, Rachel, do you want to hear what the name of the next episode is?
I sure do.
Now, we have to be sadly reminded that this will be the halfway point of the final season.
Yep.
Episode 5 of season 5. No.
Does it have a 5 in it?
No, unfortunately not. So, I need you to take in this title. Just hear how I'm going to say it. So, the next one is season 5, episode 5. About a girl. About a girl. Like they're having a bout. Not the word about. Like an old fisticuff. So what do you think will be happening in episode 5? I really like the title. I'm sorry. This is my favorite of the season.
I'm just afraid that it's going to be the Jacoby brothers fighting over Dutch. I'm scared of that.
Okay.
I don't want it to be that, but that's the first thing that comes to my mind. I do think we're going to get a little bit more Zeph Turin pre-action back on Westerly.
What could they do now?
I don't know, but like it just feels like if they just leave them there where they are, that feels dumb. And I want to have more faith in the show.
There's other people to save there.
Yeah, it's like what do they do next? Like they've done this thing. The lady is aware that people are that she has a rebellion. She's got no idea how big the rebellion is or who it is.
Even her own people, even her loyal soldiers are failing her to the point where she's like, space them.
Yeah. But it's also like she's got no tolerance for weakness. But everybody she's dealing with, including herself, has weaknesses.
Exactly. No one's perfect as she wants it to be.
No, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. I do wonder if they're going to maybe play with Turin's drug deal persona in some way. I want more fancy. He's a company man.
He's a company man.
That could be a great turn.
Could give some resources too if they get to him. What do you think will be happening inside the prison other than the worry that they're going to be fighting over the girl herself, Dutch?
I do wonder if they're going to get like a kind of warrant of the week thing from the warden. Or working with the guy. I don't even remember his name right now. It's
Sparlow.
S.
Yeah, and they still have to worry about Corin. They haven't taken him out.
No, it's like,
picture.
Is that going to be the next step? Because I feel like it's going to be like a 3-episode arc of them in the prison.
And do you think we'll see anything outside of, those characters? Do you think anything about... And we've said it many episodes in a row. Delsea, Jack, and Neil are fancy.
I'm just going to resign myself to that's going to happen when it's going to happen. And that means that it's probably going to happen next episode because it'll be the first one that I haven't said it.
Fair enough. And I'm sure Klein will just be an elegant gentleman who will say wise things and be totally nice and happy and fine. And that is it from us. Thank you all so much for being here and listening to our podcast discussion. You can find us on all of those social medias under yumyumpod or yumyumpodcast. Rachel, where else can people find us, and how can they support the podcast if they have the means to or desire?
They can find us on their social media of choice under yumyumpod or yumyumpodcast. Patreon is where you can financially support the podcast. And you get access to our entire back catalog when you sign up. There is hundreds of hours of content available over there if you sign up to the top tier. If you sign up to one of the lower tiers, you still get that. You still get hundreds of hours. Not thousands yet.
If you're lucky, maybe you will. I also just want to say this before we conclude here today, Rachel, which is we were blessed with seeing a cast member that's very important to us from Star Trek Discovery, the Yum Yum woman herself.
Yes.
And I think we need to ponder this. Do you think she'll say Yum Yum in this show?
I don't think so. And the reason that I don't think so is I feel like I would have remembered you telling me that. Because I don't think you would have been able to not tell me that.
Okay. And if she says Yum Yum in this show,
I'll fucking lose my shit.